participants chat. Oh, it's the big
Yeah,
green
you'll want to
button
let us all
staring
into
at me.
share. You'll want to let us all into share so I can share a little bit later as well.
Yeah, you'll have to show me how to do that. All right. Can everybody see Women's Council home screen? Okay. So I just wanted to bring attention to that if you wanted to go to our network page, this page, and not have to get all over the screen, it is wcrnorthmetrodenver.com or .org, and it'll take you right to this page. And if you scroll down, you'll see our upcoming events. So view events, we do have our Google class today. We have an in-person paint and sip event coming on March 11th. So I'm so excited to see people. I am so desperate to reach out and touch people. Navigating the REO market is coming on March 18th. And then for those that aren't comfortable with me reaching out and touching you, there is a virtual paint and sip event as well. We wanted to cater to both parties. So that is there as well. And let me stop sharing my screen for a second. I just wanted to say a little bit about Hannah. Here we are. She is with Steel Photography, and she is focused on real estate photography. She'll do a video that's compliance with, what is it that you need? Your video is compliant to, help me out, Hannah.
So we can do videos that will take your listing and give it preferred placement on Zillow.
Zillow. And she does this great 360 option if that's something that you're interested in, but she's a great resource. And I just wanted to take a minute to give you that quick little synopsis of what she has available to you, as well as knowing how to get your listings top of the list for Google by setting up your page and how that all works and what's available to you for free. So with having said that, take it away, Hannah.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Darlene. I really appreciate you having me on your meeting. I love hosting these classes. You can ask Deanna. I love talking about this and helping agents specifically grow their businesses. So yes, I'm a real estate photographer. I'm the owner of our company. We full service. So we literally offer anything that you need as far as your listings are concerned. We'll go out and do photos, videos, 360 walkthroughs, drones, whatever it is that you need, we're here to help you. But before I started shooting real estate, I actually worked for Google prior. So I've actually worked as a Google trusted photographer since 2015. So it's been about 6 years. And back in 2015, there really wasn't much of a 360 walkthrough technology. I don't think that Matterport existed yet. They're only a few years old. And Google was really doing just the street view, which you guys have probably all seen. And it's a car that drives by that just captures, you know, the street view as they're going. And Google was doing that to bring us, the consumer, more information about, you know, the area, the space where we were going, and we, you know, to be able to see that on their platform. Well, they started an initiative where they went out and hired only a selected few organizations to essentially bring Street View inside. So what we did was literally go door to door of small and medium businesses in our area, finding the owners and talking to them about what Google was doing and helping them on this Google My Business platform, and basically getting them to, one, participate on the platform if they weren't yet fully, 2, get the Google photo shoot, which was really Google's initiative, was to bring that Street View technology inside to businesses. So now if I want to go find a coffee shop, I can virtually tour the coffee shop online first. And Google found that actually 130%, so 13 out of every 10 people that could virtually walk through an establishment online first would go shop at that establishment over one that they could not tour online first. So Google really understood the power of this digital, walk through technology, and they wanted to get it out there. So for 5 years, on and off, I went around coaching small businesses on this platform. When I switched over to real estate, I started talking to agents about Google My Business. And none of you guys even knew what I was talking about. So I realized that there was a huge pull in your industry specifically on utilizing this platform. And the great thing is that it's free. It's something Google offers you for free. All my coaching is free. And it's where people are really searching to find goods and services. So that's a little bit of my history about how we even got here. And so through all my experience over the last 6 years, I'm really able to help you guys on this platform and do things, we can do stuff to it to help give you relevance that you don't necessarily have to pay money for, which is a really great tool. So also too, guys, I want this to really be a conversation. Please, if you have questions, stop me, unmute yourselves, put it in the chat. I will answer questions in the chat as they come through. I'm just going to talk about Google My Business. I'm going to show it to you, what it is. And then the best thing would be for us to meet one-on-one for those that are interested in getting it set up. I will sit with you for an hour on Zoom and we will just go through and get your profile set up. I'll teach you how to use it, show you where to even get to it. And I'll stick with you in the future too. I love to check back in on my clients and, make sure that they're, getting everything out of it that they can. Yes,
Hannah.
Deanna.
I just want to say that Hannah actually helped me set up my own Google My Business page. And as a title sales exec, I've actually have gotten probably 5 or 6 orders that people have found me using my Google My Business page. So it truly does work. And I'm a title sales exec. People don't really go looking for a title person. They go looking for real estate, lenders. So if it works for me, it will definitely work for you ladies. And if there's any gentlemen, sorry, for you guys. Thank you. I just wanted to give you that plug, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you. And I love that. That makes me so excited to hear that you're getting calls off of your free Google My Business profile. It didn't cost you any money. Let me guess, you probably haven't done much to it since we talked.
I've not done hardly anything to it. And I always ask, especially if I get an order or business from somebody I'm not familiar with, I always ask, who should I thank for this referral? And when they tell me good old Google, I'm like, yes, love it.
I have the same sort of testimonial. I'm currently under contract double ending a deal because people saw the sign and said they saw it on realtor.com, and when you click talk to the agent, it doesn't send it to me. So they said they Googled me and I came right up. So I'm double ending a deal because of it.
Absolutely. And that's a huge deal, right? A buy and sell in one go. I mean, and that's the goal here. That is literally the goal here, is to get your phone ringing more and grow your business. And I know that especially real estate agents, you guys get bombarded with phone calls of people trying to sell you their services. I even had another client that was like, can you help me on this? I reached out to somebody else and they wanted to charge me $500 to like tell me how to do this thing. And I'm like, on Google My Business. And I'm like, yeah, why didn't you just call me to begin with? Like, let's set up a Zoom for next week. So I love helping people grow their businesses, and I find when I do that, my business grows. So I get asked a lot, how do I make my money? I make my money by going out and shooting those listings that you get, you know, and offering you marketing material on your listings specifically, you know, to sell those at the highest price too, and as fast as we possibly can as well. And then hopefully we can build a relationship and, you know, just help each other grow for the rest of our careers is really my end goal here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Miss Darlene, I'm going to share my screen, and it looks like it worked.
Woo.
So in the meantime, if you guys have any questions at all, please, you know, stop me, put it in the chat, unmute yourselves. So my first question is, who's heard of Google?
Me.
Everyone. Okay, who knows how Google works?
It has an algorithm, I'm sure.
Okay, algorithm. Sure. What does that mean?
It prioritizes according to what you have available on your business page.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really like layman's way to put it, truly, is that the algorithm is what's sorting through all the data, right? And that matters as to what information you're putting out there as to what the algorithm is going to see and how it's going to find you. And that's how we get our search results. So this probably looks very familiar to everyone. It's just a Google search tab, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to search, you know, realtor near me. And what's going to come up is Google Screened is now a new feature. Okay, you can reach out to Google and pay them. It is not free. Agents are paying to be here, and I don't know how much it costs. But to be Google Screened, and basically they go in and literally verify you, essentially, as a business. They background check you, they make sure you're legitimate. And then they give you these little profiles at the top of the Google search. As a consumer and a millennial, I'm a true millennial. I'm going to be 35 this year. Like, those are the real millennials, not the 25-year-olds, but the 35-year-olds. We get grouped in that category a lot with the 25-year-olds. We do not eat Tide Pods. But the real millennials are truly your main clientele base right now. We are having families, we're starting families, we're buying and selling a lot of real estate. Millennials are kind of your target market. Doing this coaching for over 2 years now with agents, every single agent that is a millennial that I talk to, or anyone for that matter, we all basically search exactly the same way. And how that is that honestly, I would probably jump right past these profiles, because that is our initial reaction. When we go to a page, it's to scroll. So do I endorse the Google Screened? I think it would be great if that's in your budget to do. It's always good to have, you know, a third party verifying you, especially online. But is it required? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Probably not as well. So then we come down past that, and now we have some ads, okay? And Google tells us right here that it's an ad. I literally never click on these, ever.
Same.
Then go ahead, same? Yeah.
Same.
So then I come down, and now I have my Maps profile. And to be really honest, this is where I'm searching, and these are the Google My Business profiles. So this is what it looks like for a consumer. Below that, we have our organic search results, okay? So these are the websites that show up to what, that have the most content on it to what I'm searching, the most relevant content. That's really important for Google, is that they are connecting relevant information to you. So if you have a lot of people clicking on you and then clicking right back out away from you, Google will bury you in the bottom, because that's not relevant information for those searchers. They're clicking away immediately. Okay, so that stuff it matters what our content is. It has to be very relevant. But again, I'm not coming down and clicking on these websites because I do not have time to do that. We're busy, we're going, we're on the go. We don't have time to dig through websites. And also too, how are you going to compete with content against realtor.com? Like we don't have that much content that we could possibly put up on our page or on our website. We don't have that many, realtor.com has every listing in the country. We do not have that on our personal page. It's totally fine because I'm not clicking on these websites anyways. And just in context, okay, this is how many search results showed up for my search. 580 million search results in less than a second. So that is how much data the algorithms are crawling through every time we put a search. And when we change these words, so realtor, right? Or I could do real estate agent near me, right? That could be another search, and it's going to spit out an entirely different group of people. I even have a different group of Google Screen people. I have way more search results. I only have one ad, and then down here, I have a lot more organic search results, but here's my Google My Business profiles. Okay, so what does that look like? So then as a consumer, I'm now going to make decisions from this. Okay, this is kind of a snapshot of our business. And it's important that we're on this platform, first of all, to be found. So also with that being said, who has one of these already?
Who has one of what? A Google business page?
Yep, Deanna does, Darlene does.
I have one.
Okay.
So,
I don't get it, but I have stuff on that. Like I tried to get it, but I just don't.
And listen, that's why I'm here. So, we can set up a one-on-one and go through your page specifically, and I will help you understand it and what you need to do to it to become relevant.
That would be great.
But you can kind of see that of, the 10 or so people on here, we only have about 3 of them that actually have Google My Business pages, and 2 of them are there because we've connected.
yep.
So
Solely because of you.
Oh, in your industry, yes. Like people in your industry are not utilizing this platform.
Right.
So when I come here, I can see the name of the company. I can go to their website, get directions, and call them with one click of the button. I have their address and their hours of operation. I have photos that I can look at, and I also have reviews that I can look at. Okay, and this is how people are going to determine if you are reputable before they pick up the phone and call you. So first we have to get on this platform. Second, we got to fill it with content and make sure it's up to date and correct. The great thing about this, like Deanna said, she hasn't really messed with it, but she's still getting calls off of it. Once we get it set up, you do want to contribute content to it, but you don't have to for it to continue to index on Google and work for you and bring you clients. So give me just one second. I'm going to pull this up. And if you guys aren't using Google Docs, I would highly recommend that because they are a great way to, they're a great way to share documents. All the Google Docs are super valuable. I use them all the time.
Thank you for calling Social Security. Para español, marque 7.
So back to our search, okay? Once I put in those words, this is a Google bot. This little guy is who's going out to the algorithms to sort through all those hundreds of billions of web pages to find the most relevant, useful results for
Hannah, you're on mute right now, so we can't hear you.
Sorry, I tried to mute all so that we didn't have interruptions like that again. So let me mute all real quick and then unmute yourself, please, Hannah.
Sure. How's that?
Okay, better. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. So the bot is going out, and what's important here is that it's looking for the most relevant, useful results. And that is going to tie back into your content and what we're putting out there. We have to put out relevant content. Also, who runs their own social media? Okay.
Me.
Okay, good. So we can kind of consider Google My Business as just another form of social media, okay, where we are trying to connect with people. Google is just the most used search engine ever to exist. And that's where 87% of users are going is Google. They're not going to Bing, they're not going to Yahoo, they're going to Google. So we got to have really relevant content, okay, you guys? That means the language that we're putting out, the photos that we're putting out, the videos we're putting out, they all have to be really relevant to what we're trying to accomplish. So if we're trying to buy and sell real estate, we need to be talking about buying and selling real estate. The best example I have of this, I had a client who was really looking to target like golf course communities. And that's great. We love golf course communities. They're usually higher priced homes. You know, that's a great place to farm and target. But his problem was all he was doing is talking about golf on all of his platforms, including Google. He wasn't talking about real estate. So when we went and looked at his queries, he was showing up for like putt-putt golf near me, or golf course near me. And that is not at all what he was doing. So when they would see he was an agent, they wouldn't go to him because that's not what they were looking for. And he had a ton of search results, but nothing transpiring from that. And we could go through the back office of Google My Business and understand that, like, hey, it's because you're only talking about golf in your content. You have to talk about real estate if you want people to find you for real estate. And that's important for me, like example, to talk about photos and not just real estate, because I'm a real estate photographer. I'm not an agent. And so it's important that my clients that are finding me understand that I am a photographer and that I am not an agent. So with our content, okay, they're also looking for multiple streams. They want to provide different forms of content, okay? So whether it's maps for directions or images or videos, Google's always constantly evolving in ways to present information. And so with that, you know, if you were thinking about maybe starting a TikTok or making some videos, this is your sign to do it. Okay, if you weren't, then let's talk and let's see how we can create some content for you that's not just text and photos. But Google's not for sale, okay? So we saw those little ads that you can buy ads, you can buy the Google screened, but you cannot buy your placement within Maps. You cannot give Google money to rank you higher in your, let's see. So we went here. Also the near me situation, okay? Everyone is now searching close to their location. Location searches are actually rising about 300% every year over year for the last 5 years. People want to know what's nearest to them. So talking about your location and the places that you want to be found and farm is going to be important in your content because people are going to be searching near them. So you can pay Google to be in Google Screened. You can pay Google to have ads. Who's the ad? Top agents ranked, UpNest. We aren't going to outspend UpNest in ad money. But you cannot pay to be ranked higher within this search. So if I want to see more than just that 3-pack, I'm going to come in and click more, and now I have all these profiles here. Well, the ranking of these determines the algorithm in your content. So these have more content than these do. Okay, and that's why they're ranked higher. It's not unless you see it labeled an ad. And Google will always tell you if it's an ad. Okay,
So
which you can buy Google ads.
So what constitutes more content?
All around. So we want photos, we want posting, we want videos, we want reviews, we want activity on there. Okay, you can go and post on this thing every day like you would your Facebook page. And Google wants that content. So it's going to prioritize you for delivering that content in their platform. Like you're feeding it its own, like Google loves Google. So when you use it, it's going to prioritize you. Okay, and so that's what the content is, staying up to date on this thing. So Deanna, this is your sign. Go make a Google post. You too, Darlene. And we will talk about that. And that's what we can get into more one-on-one specifically for you, is what kind of content you can be creating to make yourself a little bit more relevant in this platform. So you can't buy your placement here, which is really nice. They took that away, because how do we compete against Realtor.com? How do we compete against Scott Nordby? How do we compete against, these huge real estate agent teams that are spending $100,000 a month on advertising? We're not going to be able to compete with them. And so Google has leveled the playing field, as has a lot of other platforms, to now where they're looking more for content versus dollars. They give you ways to buy things from them. Don't get me wrong there. You can spend a lot of money on Google, but it's not required anymore. Okay, now they're looking for content, and Zillow is kind of doing the same thing, to where I can put these videos on your listings on Zillow, and the algorithm will give you preferred placement for having those videos on there, because Zillow wants that content. And that's one of the first questions the algorithm looks for, is, does this listing have a video walkthrough? Yes or no? And if it checks the box yes, the algorithm sorts that listing to the top, because Zillow is pushing for that content. That's what they're looking for. But that's great for us, right? That now we aren't competing in, all these huge companies that have unlimited funds. We can actually compete just with our own sweat equity. So how many times a day on average do we check our phones?
Too many.
A gazillion.
Depends if you have your notifications on or not. I'm serious. I had to go through like a life coaching thing where I turned off all my notifications just so that I could feel like I could breathe. So intentionally or unintentionally, I check my
Just
phone.
on average. It's just on average. We check our phones about 150 times a day.
Wow. Wow.
Right. But
yes, that face,
yeah, that baby. What? On average, though, how long are we spending on our phones each time we pick it up?
Too much time.
Give me a minute factor, a second factor. What do you think?
10 minutes.
I was going to say 20, so I hope not, but.
What's 20 times 150? That's about right. Honestly, you guys, it's only about 70 seconds.
Per interaction, you mean?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
but
we
not
will literally
like
pick up our phones, look at it for 70 seconds, and put it back down 150 times a day.
Oh, so we're not doing anything else then? Oh, I thought we were responding.
What do you mean?
Well, like Dee said, like when you pick it up and you get sucked into Facebook or your email, before you know it, you're on TikTok for 45 minutes and you're like, wait, I was only here for 5 minutes. So I tend to, like Dee said, get sucked in and start interacting rather than
Right, but
7 seconds and put it down.
so those are on the high side, right? Like
Uh-huh.
you're not getting sucked into TikTok 150 times a day,
I'm just
but
getting
you're checking your
excited.
email, your notifications, your messages, your maps, your Googles, your Facebook, you're doing literally, we get on, we respond to an email, we put it back down, we go to what we're doing. We get back on, we respond to that notification, we put it back down, we go back to what we're doing. We get on, we sit on TikTok for 45 minutes. We put it down and we go back to what we're doing. But for the most part, we pick it up, we look at it for 70 seconds and we put it back down. Okay. On average here. Yes. I get sucked into TikTok. If you're not on that platform, you need to be. It's amazing. Okay.
It's too addictive. I promise. It's a good time.
But it's healthy in my opinion, because I'm constantly laughing.
Same.
And laughter is healthy. And it's not what I call the hate book, where I get on Facebook and everyone's all negative and it's just kind of sucks you down and brings you down. I get on TikTok, I immediately start laughing hysterically. And I don't stop laughing hysterically until I get off of TikTok.
Same.
And I
Or when
need
that guy
that in
comes
my
up that says, I know that TikTok's all fun and games, but you should probably get some sleep. And I'm like, ooh,
You've been scrolling for too long.
Yep.
Put your phone away.
I do too.
I'm like, how do they know this? And it's so funny, but people are so funny. And, you know, it's a fun platform and I have a great time on it. And, you know, I also gear it towards business. So I'm making TikTok videos, you know, when I have time, when I'm out on cool houses and stuff like that. And I have a lot of agents starting to utilize TikTok. I just saw one where they recorded when one of their clients got the house accepted that they had been working for forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Right. And that TikTok immediately went viral, right? Because everyone's crying and happy and their clients got the house and they're screaming on the phone. And this is the kind of content that people are gravitating towards now. We're done fighting on Facebook. We're done, you know.
What is your at on TikTok so I can put it in the chat?
It is, and I can go ahead and text you all my information as well. Just so everyone can have everything, I can email you over just name and all of that, but it's Sweet Treat, but just one T. So Sweet Treat, just one T, and then 86. So, but my point of saying this, you guys, is that people have short attention spans overall. Yes, we get sucked into the platforms that we enjoy, but overall, we have very limited attention spans. A lot of people my age or younger are working multiple jobs, even you guys. You know, we don't have time to do, like, to just browse the internet willy-nilly like we used to 10 years ago. Okay, we are very specific in what we're looking for and what we're searching for, and how we're spending our time. So we have 70 seconds to capture somebody's attention and get them to spend more time on our page before they click out of it. And that comes back to our content and how we appear online and Google My Business, because Google My Business gives your clients a great snapshot of who you are as a business. So we saw what it looks like. Excuse me. And Google My Business is a free platform, okay? You'll never pay to be on there, even without a strong web presence. And it's giving you a way to be included in and manage how you appear on the Google search and maps, okay? Amongst other things, your free Google My Business features your name, your location, your hours. We saw that, okay? But does it matter in 2021?
Yes. It matters. I just got a double-ended deal.
Deanna, does this platform matter in 2021? How many calls have you gotten this year?
Absolutely matters.
And a lot of people, you know, will say, well, I think Facebook's more important for my business as a real estate agent. Or I find most of my business on Instagram. And it's like, that's great. That's great. We need to be utilizing those platforms as well. But overall, people are going to start their search on Google, and Google will then redirect them to those other pages. But they start on Google if they need something. So perfect example, I went and turned my bath on about a month ago. I went to run a bath and the water wasn't getting hot. I'm like, crap. So I run downstairs and guess what? My hot water heater is spewing water everywhere. I have an inch of water in my closet. Luckily, I had a crawl space right there that I just opened the door to, and all the water started flowing down into the dirt, which it can go. But my immediate first reaction was to get on Google and find an emergency plumber. I shut my water off and I got on Google immediately. And that's what we are using this platform for, is to find goods and services that we need right now. And if they redirect us to Facebook, great. We need to have a completed Facebook page, because people will go stalk you online and they will determine how reputable you are by what they find online before they ever meet you or talk to you. And that is just where we are in 2021. So example, you're traveling. Where's the nearest hotel? Okay. All the time, every day I'm out. Where's the nearest coffee shop? I probably Google that more than anything else, coffee shop near me, right? Because I'm constantly on the go out shooting property, and it's a lot of work. So we need our caffeine. So Google's helping businesses get found online with its own directory tool. And that's what this is. Okay. So who understands SEO?
I know you've explained it, but there's so much to understand. Please.
I don't understand it at all.
So a snapshot of SEO is basically the practice of increasing the quantity and the quality. Again, quality. We don't just want randoms coming over our stuff. We want people looking for real estate agents. Driving that, increasing that traffic to your website through the organic search results. Okay. And Google My Business is kind of that medium, that middleman that's going to hook people from their search. They're going to see your Google My Business, and from Google My Business, they're going to move forward to either call you or go to your website. And we can track all that. We see all that. Google gives us analytics. But SEO is basically search engine optimization, okay? And what I do is teach you how to get SEO for free with some sweat. It's not free, but it's sweat equity, not dollar bills, okay? And that's what everyone, I'm sure you've gotten the calls. Hey, give us $300 a month, we'll get you first on Google. I always ask, okay, well, what does that mean? First on Google, what does that mean? Am I first in ads? Am I first in organic search results? Am I first on Google My Business? Where am I first? Because you're not going to get me first in ad space. I'm not going to have enough money to outspend Upnest. And I don't really care if I'm first in organic search results, because nobody's searching here anyways. And so, ask that question next time you get that. Okay, I'll give you my money, but where am I getting first on Google? And then they'll spit a bunch of language at you that doesn't make any sense, and you'll think it sounds really smart, so you give them your money. And then a year later, you're out $300 a month, and you're like, hey, I haven't even gotten any uptick in business off of this, but I've spent a lot of money. And Deanna and a lot of my clients are proof that phone calls come in off this thing. This thing can grow your business, truly. And it's a platform that people are using and they're loving. So SEO is a complicated thing, okay? But I break it down for you and show you how you can gain some of that just with some sweat equity and making some content. So again, here it is. We can do this, but it does take a little bit of work. okay? Especially to get it set up. And if you want to grow even faster, you know, dedicate 5 minutes to this thing every day. Add it into your daily schedule. But the benefits of this are going to far outweigh any investment we put in. So several ways we can add content, and I only have about 5 more minutes, guys, and I'm done with my spiel. And I'll have time for questions or anything, you know, and then I would love to get one-on-one with each of you and go through individually your own situation and get you going on this platform. But we can add in your website. We can add in posts now. Google has a posting platform that's similar to social media. Photos are very important, okay? Good quality photos are very important. I can definitely help you on that side. Reviews. Agents are constantly like, where should I collect my reviews? I have all these platforms to collect them on, but which one should I pick? Well, now we should pick Google, because that's where people are going to find you first. And then they'll go to realtor.com, or then they'll go to Facebook. But they're going to go to Google first. And ladies and gents, I don't even buy dog treats online without reading the reviews. So reviews will, yes, get you SEO, but more importantly, they're for your consumer. Okay, they're for your people to know you are legitimate, you are reputable, and you will do a good job for them. Also, now you have an opportunity to reach out to any clients you worked with in the past and check in on them and ask them for a Google review. And I think we can all agree that when we do that and we reach out to our sphere, we find business in there somewhere. Videos, we can put videos on here now. That's kind of new in the last year, okay? Video marketing is now, we are there. We are there. I offer video editing services for my clients. If you want to put together some video testimonials, a little marketing video, you know, whatever, people are going to sit and watch the video 100 times more than they're going to scroll and read text and scroll through photos. Okay, so videos are very important. And also 360 photos. Okay, this is where I can help you as well. So a Google Trusted Street View Tour, those are different than what we do on properties. Okay, we use the same technology, we use the same equipment, it's the same quality, they're just going to look a little bit different. And when you have a Google Street View Tour on your Google My Business page, Google's going to prioritize you over anyone who does not have them, because it is a Google product. You can buy those from me. That is one way you can spend money on this thing, is getting a photo shoot done for your business. But we work together to create content that makes sense for your business. You can use the content anywhere else. You get your profile completed. Google wants this photo shoot on there for the algorithm to consider it complete. Okay, and it's a one-time deal. So you get it once and that's it. It's a write-off for your business. It's definitely a business expense, and it will bring you relevance. It will bring you SEO, and that will bring you clients. So if, you know, in our one-on-ones, we can talk about 360 and if that makes sense to invest for your business now or later. But at some point, you are going to want one of these. A little more on the 360. Virtual tours keep people on your website 5 to 10 times longer. That's what we want, right? 70 seconds to catch them, to then stay longer with our data. They like to play with the technology. They enjoy, you know, seeing what they're getting themselves into, essentially. So remember that statistic: 130% of people are more likely to shop with a listing that a profile that has a 360 on it, that they can literally tour the establishment or whatever. You know, we'll talk about your content, than those that don't. So with 87% of all searches happening on the internet, they're happening on Google. Creating an optimized Google My Business profile completed with your virtual tour should be a top priority for any business owner. Okay, so we should make this a priority to at least get you set up. Once you get set up, then you can, you know, leave it, or you can spend a little time in it every day. Either way, it's going to be working for you 24/7. It will be indexing and people are searching. And so that's really my snapshot of Google class. Do you guys have questions?
I recently heard that setting up your Google business, there's like a lag with Google. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, so COVID has, affected Google too. There could be a lag on Google for a lot of reasons. Like they rolled out a whole new interface for Maps last year. They weren't allowing any new content up for like a month. It was a total headache for me. But then I woke up one day and Maps had an entire new interface. And so that was a holdup for us, right? Like we have to remember, this is a giant piece of tech. And tech never really works smoothly. Okay. And so yeah, we got to take it with a grain of salt. Anything we do up here could take 5 to 7 business days to show up. And I work with you through some of those issues and things like that. We have a message here. Let's see. Google My Business, is that Yelp? No, that is a different platform than Yelp. Google My Business honestly is probably better than Yelp. I never go to Yelp. I've only heard like terrible things about Yelp as far as a business owner is concerned. So I am not on there for business either. Yelp, you have a hard time taking down wrong reviews. If someone, like I've had agents or clients, like I never worked with this person before. They left me a 1-star review and Yelp won't do anything about it. Well, Google wants relevant, accurate information. So you can submit a claim to Google that this review is not correct and it will do something about it immediately. And so that is a totally different platform. It's probably good to be on, but it's not Google My Business.
I
Hey,
think
Hannah,
Yelp- Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So my office is in my home. So I have not, so Google has my address, but it's also checked not publishable, right? So I have a competitor who has the exact same issue. And when I Google near me, she comes up and I don't. So there must be something that she's done that I didn't do in order to show up in that near you. So what is it with that address? Was there something special that actually gets it so that it's not so Denver Metro? And because I don't even come up in the Denver Metro, it just doesn't even pop up at all. So
yeah, so a couple things. One, we do want to have a red pin on the map if we can, and that's a physical location. I honestly suggest using your office address of your where you hang your license.
my house.
Okay.
So, and I'm not a real estate agent, so that is a little bit different. But yes, no, my physical address is my home.
Yep, and that's exactly where I am too. So if you can't have a red pin on the map, which I do not either, now you have your service areas, okay? And so we need to go in and make sure all your service areas are showing up correctly. Then we need to make sure that you have more content flowing than this lady does, okay? We got to make sure all of your information is on there. You're doing any updates that need to be done. You're getting reviews on there. You're putting in posting. And then you will start showing up over someone that's not working on it that hard. Also, stop Googling yourself.
Got it.
Google remembers everything.
Okay.
And it wants to give you what you want. So if you're not showing up when you Google yourself, we need to definitely sit down one-on-one and see what's going on. And analytics will tell us a lot about what is maybe happening.
Well, I just tried and I'm not logged in. So it doesn't know that it's me. So
yeah, if you go incognito, right,
mhm,
where you log out, that's going to give you a better screenshot of where you actually are in Google. And so, yeah, you might not be ranking yet.
okay.
And so, what can we do to change that? And it's going to be some trial and error, but you and I can work together, specifically for your page and your industry and what you do, to help see if we can't get you ranking higher than your competitor, because that's the goal here.
Right. Well, and it looks like I have more content on my Google My Business than she does. I have business hours and postings and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious. It's just kind of weird. And then I had one more quick question for somebody else that asked me. They have, again, they're a bookkeeper. So their business address is actually one of those mail stop kind of businesses. And she said that Google won't use that as a physical location because the physical location is somebody assigned to somebody else. So how do you get around something like that?
You can't. And that's one of the things that Google is pushing for is that there's not fake businesses on there using PO boxes. They do not let you use PO box or the physical addresses out of the UPS or whatever that is, that, like you said.
Right. Like a mailbox,
you have to be a reputable like you have to be a true business to be on this platform, and they will kick all your stuff off if they think that you're not. And they'll even kick your stuff off even if you are. And you have to go in and essentially appeal it. And they did a huge slew of these at the beginning of COVID. And it was like all of my profiles were showing up suspended. And I'm like, what is going on? For just saying content wasn't allowed or something. And it was like ridiculous. And then we just submitted an appeal and then they put it back up. But right. Google's in a constant push to eliminate spam out of here, eliminate dead profiles, businesses that are no longer in business, kind of clean up. But so that's the thing about this profile, is that there are some limitations, and Google will, they want it to be true. And so in that case, you put in the home address and then don't show it.
Yeah, because I mean, the reality is in today's environment, more and more people are working at home. More people are not paying the rent for their office buildings anymore. So, and nobody wants, their business stuff to come to their home. So,
well, and you would be surprised. I have a lot of clients that are like, put my home address because that's the neighborhood I want to be selling in, and that's where I want my red pin on the map. And so some people are okay with it. I don't really want my home address out there.
Well, and it's like, I have a security system. I'm okay, but the reality is that no, I don't want anybody staking out my place.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's where they give us the, the option to hide it.
Okay.
Right, to hide that address from the general public, but they still need that for records to know you are legitimate. They're not just going to let it's not like a Facebook profile.
Right.
Where literally anyone can just go make one for anything, and it doesn't matter if they're real or not. Google is very, very strict about this kind of stuff, and that's their push to bring relevant, reputable content to the consumers.
There's another
Awesome.
question
Thank you.
in the chat from Michelle.
Yep, I saw the chat. So Laura, why don't you and I get together and we will set you up, because it can get a little complicated. Even if you have 30 minutes for a Zoom this week or next, let's do it. And then I don't know why Google would remove a review. Usually they would give you some information about why they did that. So maybe Michelle, you and I maybe need to get together and dive into your profile as well and see if it was just a weird glitch, 2, if it was user error, something we did, or 3, if Google did send you any information on why the review was taken off. And then if we can't find anything, we can reach out to Google and see, or as pain in the butt it is, try to get your client to leave it again, and just see, because weird tech things like this are going to happen sometimes, and sometimes we don't have all the answers. But we can work together and at least dive in and see what hopefully maybe find an answer.
I know
Thank you.
we
Yeah,
are
of course,
reaching
of
the end of
course.
our hour, but I have one more question. If you wanted to reach out to Google and dispute something, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, you would, depending on what it is, you have to go through the forums. And that's kind of the big pain in the butt here, is there's no one you can call. A lot of the times they won't even respond, but just fix the problem. A lot of times they won't even fix the problem. So it's just, and that's why I'm here to help you to try to navigate through this. I don't have all the answers for you, but we can at least look at, what's going on and try to solve the issue.
Okay. Well, thank you, Hannah. Her information is up there on the screen. If you have any questions, just give her a call. She's super responsive. Question, Hannah, is that an email, Hannah at stealthemomentrealestate.photos? Is that like a .com or anything, or is it exactly like that?
Nope, it's exactly like that. So the .photos is in place of the .com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I think this was really informative. I always learn something new when I attend one of your classes. So I really appreciate you coming to speak to the Women's Council. And if you don't have any more questions, then I will wish
Thank you, Hannah.
all a very happy day. And thank you, Hannah.
You guys
Thanks
are so
for everybody
welcome.
that
It's my
attended.
pleasure. I would love to connect with all of you one-on-one and just make sure you're going, you're where you should be. So please email me, call me. Let's get a Zoom on the books.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Thanks,
Appreciate
ladies.
it.
Have a wonderful day.